Hello everyone, welcome to Code 2 TV. I'm Ste Hort, joined by Chris Pajak and Tom Jennings as usual. Three of us are here. Again, it's brilliant. This is our very special Thanksgiving preview show.
Yeah.
Let's call it that. Happy Thanksgiving to anyone in America who celebrates that.
Happy Thursday to anyone in the UK.
Yeah, just a Thursday where we can get to watch extra games of footy.
It's a good day.
Just so you know, it's also my master's graduation on Thursday.
Oh, well done. Congratulations.
Tell
Well done. You're going to watch any football?
Probably not. I'm probably going to be very drunk. I'll watch it all on Friday.
Yeah, Sky Go. Tune in for that next when Jenno will review next day. I think. No.
What font size did you put your dissertation in?
Large.
It starts off on about size 60 and then it goes down to 11 when I hand it in.
There you go, so it's peek behind the curtain how blind Jenno really is. I'm hosting again, as you can see, for one very good reason, because we're going to start with Chris's Minnesota Vikings, the earliest kickoff, the usual game in Detroit. Detroit always get a home game on Thanksgiving. That's a thing. You're the team that are going in there. Are you confident?
Yeah, I am, because of the way that we've been playing over the last couple of weeks, last few weeks and stuff, but let's not forget the Detroit Lions beat us in our place earlier on in the season, so we've played each other. These divisional games are always very, very difficult when it comes towards the end of the season, because you've got tape on each other, you know each other so well, you play each other twice every single season, so the teams and the coaching staff know each other and know the game plan. The thing at the moment with the Vikings, and why I personally think the Vikings will win this game, is because everybody knows how we're going to play and they can't stop us. And I think that's when you get into that situation in football, then they're the better teams, aren't they? You know, everybody knows we've got Diggs and we've got Thielen. Everybody knows they're going to try and double cover Thielen. Doesn't matter. As we mentioned on the overtime review show, he'll manage to create a little bit of space, even without pushing off. The guy doesn't need to. You know, he turns on a sixpence and stuff, and then you've got Latavius Murray and you've got McKinnon coming out of the backfield, putting up 123 yards on average every single game. And we've got one of the best defences in the league, and most of our pieces are still there. Great O-line, so yeah, for me, Vikings are going to absolutely do.
I think they'll win as well. But Jenno, if the Lions do win, they'll hold both tiebreakers, they will go to 7-4, and the Vikings will be 8-3. So it's as must-win games. This is pretty much must-win in that. If the Vikings do win, that's pretty. I think that you can salt away the division. I don't think they're going. I think they're not going to catch them, because they will obviously be 6-5, chasing a 9-3 team. That's a big gap. So it's all on the line for the Lions. In your head, how could you build a Lions victory? What needs to happen for Detroit to win?
They need to stop the run game for the Vikings. They need to stop that.
They can't do that.
Which is not what Detroit's built for. But they need to find a way. They need to put playmaker Slay on Thielen, so they can take Thielen away on single-man coverage. That's what they need to do. And then they need to hope Matthew Stafford can just pick apart this Vikings defence, which, you know, I've seen Cousins had a good game against them. Stafford's better than Cousins, so there's potential.
No Griffin in that game, though. That was the big difference for me against the Redskins, is that we had Griffin disrupting things again last week, and we've seen what a massive piece he is to this defence. But I think you're right. If they can do that, that's the way that they're going to have a chance to win.
Really, I mean, all three of those things are unlikely to happen. That's the one. Is there anything about the Lions that, other than Matt Stafford, really, that you're particularly worried about? No, look, I think, you know, the last couple of weeks and stuff, they've not been able to get that run game going. But Abdullah is a very, very good running back when he gets into a little bit of open space and stuff. It's just finding those holes first to get into. I've seen it this season where the Vikings have conceded long runs. Once they get past the first level of the defence, it's just very difficult to do. I think they're going to have to try and like play little passes out to the side and then get into some space there. But, you know, with the movements of Kendricks and stuff, the sideline to sideline ability of him, we do have a great middle linebacker there to cover those off. I don't think Waynes is going to be fit for this game as well at cornerback, so we'll probably see a lot of Newman, and 2 games on a short week for Terrence Newman coming off a big game at the weekend could be a difficulty. I'd look for them to pick Newman apart. I was going to say, the middle of the field is where the likes of Tate and the 2 Joneses come to life. They're not really explosive, but they do well over the
Marvin
middle.
Jones is fast. Marvin Jones is fast.
He's fast.
And if you get him on...
in the middle, he likes being in the middle of the field,
That's a matchup they like.
Golden Tate's lightning as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's
thankfully we've got Smith, who's got good range as a safety and stuff like that, obviously. I imagine he'll be rolled slightly more over to Newman's side, and they're going to look to Rhodes to maybe working just on his own with receivers and stuff.
Yeah,
good matchups though across the board.
On that side of the ball, and then obviously we mentioned before, the likes of Thielen and Diggs against a defence, that's
shaky, I think, the Lions. And
I think the Lions secondary is good. I like Slay, I like Quinn. The secondary is fine. The problem is, again, it's up that middle. It's where...
Big Latavius Murray game, probably.
They've never replaced Ndamukong Suh. They've never replaced that big defensive tackle. And they're going to get... I can only see that the Vikings are going to win this because they're going to run on them. And they're going to run on them all day. And that's the problem. I can't see how the Lions stop the run of the Vikings.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. The Vikings win. Second game, the LA Chargers travel to Dallas to face them Cowboys. Like I mentioned before, Chargers 4-6. So obviously they're very much in the AFC mix as it is, because the AFC is just like two good teams, and then a big pile of the proverbial poo-poo that we mentioned on the previous show.
You know the Browns can still make the playoffs in the AFC. That's how bad it is.
Yeah,
did not know that.
Yep.
That's
that can
insane.
still happen. And there's
but it's amazing that it can still happen.
That's a thing. And then obviously Dallas now 5-5. They're looking for a wild card in a really tough NFC, which they pretty much out of it. Obviously they're not going to win the division. The Eagles are absolutely flying. Chargers, again, we speak. This is a game that they really need to win. They can target. They definitely can win, Chris, which we probably wouldn't have said 3 or 4 weeks ago. But are the Chargers favourites for you?
No, not in Dallas.
Okay.
I think had it been I nearly said San Diego then. Had it been in LA, I think they probably would be favourites. For me, it's a bit of a coin flip, to be honest, because I saw signs of life in Alfred Morris in the last game, and I think they need to go to Alfred Morris more for just how poor Dak was, to be honest with you. And, you know, when he had the ball in his hands at the weekend, just gone, and since obviously Zeke's not been in there, he's not been making those plays. He has been leaning on Zeke Elliott as a crutch. I think a lot of people had question marks over him, whether he'd be able to perform at such a high level. Well, let me tell you this, any second-year quarterback who's got one of the best running backs in the league is going to struggle without that running back. But if they can get Morris going, and I forget who the second running back is as well. Rod Smith's the other guy. If they can get them motoring a little bit, then I think that's the way that the Cowboys are going to have to go and approach this game. And yeah, whether they'll be able to do it or not, I'm not sure. But Bosa could have an absolute field day on Prescott if they get away from that run game.
I was about to say, I don't know if you agree, Jenno, with the Dallas. They look like they lack explosion to me. Everything's very one pace. So Dez has got no explosion left in his game. It's Williams, it's Beasley, it's Alfred Morris. They're all like plodders, and without Zeke Elliott, they just look like an average team, like an average middle of the road unathletic
They've got
team.
the two least effective wide receivers in the league, in Dez Bryant and Cole Beasley. They're being two of the least effective wide receivers. Dez Bryant was thrown to 14 times last game, and he only had 67 yards. Cole Beasley, I think... Cole Beasley, I think, was thrown to, I suppose, it was either 4 or 7. I don't know why both of them are in my head. And he had 7 yards. I mean, that was who his go-to guys were last season. And they're not producing for him. And now he's really struggling because you're not getting beat by Williams. We've seen that. You're not getting beat by him. Witten's not going to beat you. Those days are beyond you.
It's a slow offense.
It's a very slow offense, very one-paced. And I just think what the Chargers should do is make sure they take the read option away. So whether Dak takes it or whether Dak gives it, smash Dak. It doesn't matter whether he's got the ball or not. Just focus on hitting him, getting in his head and making him think he's going to be hit every single time, because that's how you take the read option away.
We saw Atlanta completely dominate Chris when Tyron Smith, as of time of recording, he's still a doubt, so we don't know, but they brought Byron Bell in the other day, and they did give, we spoke on a few shows ago, they didn't give him help. They did in the last game. A lot of Witten was over there, there's quite a lot of Rod Smith, but whoever's playing there, if it isn't Smith, are going to see a lot of Joey Bosa, and that could, like you mentioned, that could be really scary for Dallas, and that's the reason I'm picking the Chargers. Again, it's mad picking the Chargers because, you know, they're a renowned bottling team, but I just think the defense is going to be able to maintain this pretty average without Zeke offense, and I trust Phil Rivers to be able to do a job on Dallas as well. So that's the reason I'm picking the Chargers.
I think I will just about stick with the Cowboys in this one, maybe just because of the home field advantage and stuff. And you know, there's a lot riding on these, because these fellas for the Cowboys will know that Zeke Elliott's coming back, and I think at this point they'll be starting to play because of that. Because when Zeke Elliott comes back, these could be like, if they're in the hunt, they could be a really dangerous side who come into form at the right time, and they've got to start playing now to be able to still be in that.
They're one game back from the second wildcard place at the moment. Obviously, if they go to 5 and 6, they're not technically dead, but that wildcard race in the NFC is looking like it's going to go right down to the wire. And I think this is one that they really need.
I think you need to go 10-6 to get this second wild card, to get the wild card spot. And I think if they lose this, that's out, because that's already, that'll be the 6 losses. And even with, I don't expect them to win every game, even when Zeke's back. And then they still got a few more games of suspensions, why I can't see it. And I also think I've got the Chargers to win this game, because on the other hand, I can see them getting into the playoffs on the AFC, because there's nothing there. That AFC wildcard place is up to grabs.
It also makes resting Rivers towards the end of the third quarter a very, very smart decision on a short week from the Chargers coaching staff and stuff. But let's not forget, this Dallas Cowboys roster doesn't turn over too much over the last few years. These guys are used to playing in this stadium on a Thursday night on Thanksgiving, and maybe that's the reason I'm going for them.
Yeah, the thing they've got is it's their third game in 11 days. That's tough. They've gone Thursday, the following Sunday. Sorry, they're going Thursday. So that's a difficult one to do. I think it's going to be really, really tough. This is their third game in 11. Sorry, so the likes of Witten.
So they do Monday, Sunday, Thursday.
Not Monday, Thursday.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not what you need.
No, they didn't play Thursday. The Cowboys didn't play Thursday.
They play Sunday night.
Sorry, yeah, Sunday, Thursday they're playing.
Oh, so this is the second one of the 3?
They're going to be on Thursday night again, so it's kind of like...
So the next Thursday as well?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, they're all the team. It's I don't know, we'll find out. It's going to be... That's right, if they lose this one, they're in a bit of trouble. And then finally, Giants, a shock win at home against the KC Chiefs, are travelling to Washington to face the Redskins, who, demoralised after a heartbreaking loss. We all thought, we didn't even speak about Kansas City Giants on the last show, we thought it was one-sided. Do you think it reversed the meme where we just see Washington dominate what we think is a pretty crap team?
Yes, I think they probably will. I think, I mentioned on the overtime show that I really like this Redskins side. I think they're very, very good, and they've lost in some tough places this season. They'll be looking at these 2 Giants games on the rest of the schedule and looking for 2 wins on them, and they need those wins as well. So for me, this Redskins side comes in, dominates, and walks out with maybe a 15-point lead and a win.
Well, Chris was talking last week with DJ Swearinger. I expect him to pick Eli off a couple of times. Eli has looked terrible. As wide receivers are actually making plays for him now, but I can't see anything other than the Redskins just turn up and wiping the floor with them. They're just a much better team than what the Giants are, and the Giants look terrible and just managed to fluke a win because of bad decision making by the Chiefs.
And the funny thing about the Swearinger stuff is he called the team out, about a week ago now before the last game, and he called the defence out for not playing hard enough. And what I found really interesting about that more than anything is he stood up himself afterwards. It's very easy to call your teammates out, but you do have to go and back that up on the field. And now they'll have seen another game where he goes and dominates from the safety position, and they'll all be looking at that going, maybe he's got a point. We need to ask ourselves these questions, and they'll probably come out and hit hard.
We mentioned before about how bad we think the Giants have been, how good we think the Redskins are. If the Giants win this game, they are 1 game back on the Redskins. It goes to show, it is fine margins. Flip side, Washington, if they have any hopes, which are slim as it is, we said they probably need a run of 6 wins, don't they? They need to go 10-6. You have to have this game. So I think they will win. I don't think the Giants have got it in them to go to overtime on a Sunday and then go again on Thursday. I mean, obviously the Redskins did it, but I think the Redskins are more talented. So ultimately that's why I'm going for the Washington Redskins. You are?
Redskins.
Yeah. There you go, across the board. So as Redskins fans, well done Giants fans, you'll be absolutely delighted. So yeah, that's the Thanksgiving preview show. Thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you, like I say, have a happy Thanksgiving. All you guys in America, we're just going to watch football. Jenno's going to be pissed at his masters. Keep an eye on the channel. Obviously, we've just recorded the Week 11 review show, so make sure you check that out. Keep an eye, because coming in the next couple of days, we will have the preview for the rest of the week 12. It is week 12, isn't it?
Yeah, we need to review these as well. We need to think about that. I'm in London Thursday.
We'll think
that's difficult.
Pre-production, we'll do it off air. That's fine.
It's a good point, well presented. I should know this. I've been doing this for quite a while.
This is your job. These are WhatsApp conversations that we will have at a later date. Keep an eye on the channel for the whole preview of the Week 12. It's some really good games in store, and the Packers are playing as well. So, until next time, see you all soon. Ta-da.